Alrighty folks, today we got two Fujifilm cameras that we need to compare, the Fujifilm XS20 versus the Fujifilm XM5, everybody. I recently picked up the Fujifilm XM5 and thought, why not compare it to the XS20? On paper, they got similar guts, but in hand, they feel like two different cameras. So in this video, I'll break down the key differences in design, handling, and shooting experience. Stick around to the end, I'll tell you which one I would choose if I could only keep one. Let's get into it. When it comes to the design language, you can see it's totally different from these two cameras. The Fujifilm XS20 gives you more of a modern looking camera. I like to say that this camera follows, they draw inspirations from the Fujifilm XH2 body with its big, deep hand grip. And I do like the hand grip because it feels more comfortable to hold than these, pretty aesthetically looking camera that you could find on like the X106 or even the XE5. And it also offers an EVF that is something that's missing in the XM5. The Fujifilm XS20 does not have a grip and it's tiny as heck. So Fujifilm is sacrificing a little bit of that grip here to make it pocketable and compact. The materials used on the Fujifilm XM5 does feel, the top plate feels plasticky, but the camera does feel nice to hold for bits. But then when you're going around shooting with this camera, I just wish there was a little bit more protruding grip to hold the camera a little bit better. This is where an additional hand grip would be nice, or even like a camera wrist strap, just to make everything feel secure. And this is where I use like something like a small rig hand grip, and this makes everything easier to hold in my opinion. And both cameras have dials. The Fujifilm XM5 has the film simulation dial, and the Fujifilm XS20 also has this blank dial right here, and has, as a default, it was on film simulations as well. However, it is remappable, and I totally changed it to adjust my ISO, allowing me to toggle ISO quickly. Honestly, if you guys can't tell, this camera is like really tiny. This is the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 lens, and this is the lens that I use to record my videos whenever I'm recording on a Fujifilm camera. And look how tiny this camera is compared to this lens. And if you put the lens on here, let me to a body like the Fujifilm XM5, it just looks so weird, and it just looks very front heavy. Look how big this setup is now. This is a 13mm f1.4, and on the XM5 it looks like a telephoto lens. It looks like a Sigma lens compared on the freaking XM5. So the XM5 is like a freaking tiny camera, man. So just be aware of that. And if you are trying to keep this camera light and compact in a compact kit, you are limited to lenses that you choose to put on this lens. So if you're not gonna be using f1.4 lenses, then you're gonna be stuck with like pancake lenses or whatever it is to just keep this thing, just keep the footprint of the XM5 really small. Compare that to the Fujifilm XS20, you see that something like the XM5 really benefits from like smaller compact lenses to keep it inconspicuous. Otherwise, it would look too front heavy like on the Viltrox 13mm f1.4. The Q button on the XM5 is tiny. It is placed awkwardly between the two dials. And it's something that I am questioning, like, why did you put it there? Like, you have all this real estate in the back of the camera with your joystick. Why couldn't you put a Q button there and just make it bigger? Pause. So we can use it and press it. Both camera has a spam dial and a custom dials where, you can save up to 4 custom settings for your Fujifilm recipes or your video settings. The film simulation dial on the XM5, to me, is a waste of space, and it's not even remappable. The XS20 blank dial is remappable, so, Fujifilm, so I this is where I don't understand, like, you gotta be consistent here. Why is it different between like different cameras? So Fujifilm, at least like give me the option to change it if I don't want to use your freaking film simulation dials. I don't need my film simulations to be there. I know which one I like already. I can choose that with the Q button. At least make the film simulation dial remappable, because otherwise I'm switching to Sony. Freaking do it, man. The materials on the Fujifilm XM5 does feel a bit plasticky and cheaper, for the lack of a better word. The Fujifilm XM5 uses the old square battery, whereas the Fujifilm XS20 uses the bigger, newer battery. Fujifilm XS20 also comes with this pop-up flash, which is pretty neat. And both cameras have a flip-out LCD screen, so if you want to vlog, you can. Both camera does have a USB-C port, mic jack, and audio jack, although the XM5 is placed on the back of the camera where the viewfinder should be, and it's not on the sides like the Fujifilm XS20. The thing about the XM5 is it does not have IBIS, whereas the XS20 does. The XM5 does have digital stabilization, and it sucks. It's too warpy, it's too jello-y, so to me it just looks really, really bad. So just lock it off on a tripod if you want to use it to film yourself, or at least get a gimbal. This camera is so tiny anyways. I think you can manage it with a gimbal. Now this is where the Fujifilm XS20 is a bit better, because I do like the IBIS on the XS20 paired with my Viltrox 13mm f1.4. You have a great vlogging setup between those two camera and lenses. When it comes to the handling of the camera, I have to give it to the Fujifilm XS20. It just feels more comfortable to hold. It has an EVF as well. When I shot with the XM5, it's small and it's cute, yeah, but because of muscle memory, I've always been putting the camera closer to my eyes, and I realized there's nothing there. So I have to use the back LCD screen, and that's something that I'm not used to. Now let's talk about performance. Both of these cameras have the same sensor, the 26 megapixel sensor, and the latest X-Trans processor. That means they're going to have the same image quality both for videos and photos. You're not going to see a difference between any of these cameras. The final output would be the same. When it comes to the battery life and filming 6.2K open gate at 24 frames per second, I find that the XS20 lasts longer over the XM5. This is due to the fact that the camera has a newer, larger battery with great battery life. Now, when it comes to autofocusing, both are updated to the latest firmware, and I have to say, I see no difference. People keep telling me that the XM5 is a lot better because Fujifilm fixed some of the algorithm for its camera launch. It could be slightly better, but it's just splitting hairs at this point. I still think Fujifilm has a problem. Their autofocusing is not up to league standard. And I just want to say, how much better can it be if they're using the same processor and basically, like, you know, the same algorithm in both of these cameras? They have the same guts, they have the same processor. So did they write a new code for the XM5 since it's a newer camera release? I'm not too sure. I would say this, for the autofocusing tracking, if you're not doing any insane tracking, you'll be fine. Dads who want to document, you know, their kids running around every day have complained about Fujifilm's autofocusing in the comment section, my comment section. They have said that it's not up to par, and some of them have switched to something like the Nikon ZF or even like Sony cameras because they want to see their kids be in focus and not, you know, just out of focus, soft, and whatever it is. So how are the video capabilities? First off, I really love Fuji's video. I like the 6.2K open gate recording that it provides. This is great, and I just love how the video looks. It gives me this soft filmic look that I really like. And both of these cameras have it. Both of them have f-log 2 if you want to capture the most data in your footage, so you can color grade them in post afterwards. So all of this here in both these cameras, the 4K 60, it looks good. I don't use any other video capabilities besides the 4K 60 to get some slow motion for my video. The XM5 does have some difference with that the XS20 doesn't have. And when it comes to their UI, you can tell that they made this camera for the vloggers and the content creation in mind, because they have a lot of touch function plastered all over the screen for your video recording. The XM5 also features 3 mics. You see the 2 holes in the front and 1 in the back here. These allow some control over the audio direction, and this is where you can select one from the front, one from the rear, or even from both sides. The Fujifilm XM5 also has a few more features that caters to the content creators as well. It also crops your video for you, so it'll do like a 9:16 crop, so you don't have to do it in post. It also gives you the option to pick from like 15 seconds to 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and this is due to the fact that these are the options that you get when you post on, you know, something like TikTok, Instagram Reels, or even YouTube Shorts. However, doing this, you are only outputting this to 1080p. There's also a feature called Portrait Enhancer, and that can smooth out blemishes, and there's a low, medium, high setting. It's available in both photos and video mode. So these are the features that are not found in the Fujifilm XS20. Both of these cameras do have mounting options to put a Fujifilm fan at the back of the camera. This will cool the camera down from overheating, extending the recording time. So who are these cameras for? So if you're new to photography, new to video, and you're thinking about investing in a decent camera that would take great photos and videos, grab the XM5. I do see the appeal in this camera. It's great for a travel camera because it's pocketable. The 26 megapixel sensor found in the XM5 is what makes all this great for me. Just to know that I can get the same image quality as my XS20, but in a smaller, compact size, it makes sense. For me, I love the Fujifilm XS10 because of the image quality that it has. The XS20 has that same sensor, but it improves on other aspects which I truly like. And this is why I like the Fujifilm XM5 for beginners. The specs are all there. You get the updated processor, the video quality, the F-Log2, the film simulations, the photo quality. All that will be so great for the entry-level folks out there. And you can actually grow with that camera. And finally, let's just talk about which camera I would choose if I were to choose between the two cameras, the XM5 or the XS20. And I would choose the Fujifilm XS20, and here's why. The battery is bigger. I'm not a fan of that square battery. I get they're using it to make the camera footprint smaller, but I think this camera would benefit in making the grip just a bit more protruding, and the grip would be so much more manageable. If you make it bigger, you can house the new battery so that we can hold the camera better. This hand grip from the Fujifilm XS20 is so good too. I really love this hand grip. It's one of the better feeling Fujifilm cameras that I've ever held. And I also love having an EVF. I've been shooting like this for so long now. A pocket camera for me is something that I was trying to adjust to. However, I live in such a bright sunny place that it's hard to see the back of the LCD screen sometimes. Now this is where the EVF comes in handy and it comes into play. Although it's not like the greatest EVF, it makes sense for me to have, so I can like really focus on my composition and just block out the sun when it comes to like a bright sunny day. The Fujifilm XS20 is definitely the next level up. It doesn't have all that entry level features. It requires more manual labor to adjust your video settings. You need to seek out your audio better. And I would say if you need the EVF and the battery and the IBIS, I would say the XS20 is worth spending a few extra $100 for. Other than that, these two cameras are great. If you can live with the compromises, the Fujifilm XM5 is coming in at like 800 bucks, and the Fujifilm XS20 is coming in at 1300 bucks. Like I said before, I see the appeal for the Fujifilm XM5 now. For someone that doesn't care about video, that just wants something truly pocketable, input some film recipes and take it around with you on your trips because it's so tiny and lightweight and it won't take up much space. The XM5 is great. For someone that wants a bit more, EVF, IBIS, better battery life, hand grip, the XS20 is also great. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts though? Do let me know in the comments below. Do you like the Fujifilm XM5 or the XS20? And if you're interested in any of these cameras, I'll leave the links down in the description as well. And consider subscribing for more Fujifilm content. And thanks so much.